Trying to edit these ambient videos. I'm really having a hard time figuring it out. I have the shots, but how do they work together? Anyway, it's the Hotline show. Let me go to the other desk. Wow. How's it going? What a morning. What a day. What a week. Let me just sort this out here. All right, welcome back. Thanks for coming. It's the Hotline show. Today is March 2nd. 2025. It's the 52nd episode. So what's going on this week? Good question. It's thawing out. It's sunny. As you can see, I'm doing this, it's daytime. The doors are open here. It's all natural light. So it's going to shift throughout this episode. I don't know if it's going to work. I hope it does because I don't want to have to redo it. Okay, I fucked up. It's not the light changing throughout the episode. It's actually a focus issue. You're going to see the camera hunt for focus. It's a little subtle, but it's annoying, and I apologize. So maybe just listen if you want. This isn't going to be the last time you see me. You can feel it. You can feel it. The spring is coming. The darkness has only just begun. If you don't know, this is the Hotline show. My name is Noah. If you don't know who I am, I don't know, Google me or something. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But on this show, people call the number. It's in the description below. They leave a message. They ask a question. Usually it's about photography, but it can be about anything, like flowers and sunshine. We have 5 calls today. 4. I cut one out. It might be good. It might not be. We'll see. We're going to go. First caller's from my dad. I had to do a family first. So let's hear from him. Dad, what's up?
Hey, Noah. This is your dad. I was watching your number 50, and like always, I get such enjoyment out of these videos. But what I really liked is you gave a shout out to my books when you spoke with that fellow about reading. And then you said you don't read much, but you have some books and you showed them. You showed my second roll mystery series, Final Shot, the one. And now, it just came out, is Missing Sammy, the third and final of the series, the second roll mystery series. So I'd love your viewers and listeners to know about that. And of course, there's the one that I love the best, which is not part of the series, but which is a hoot. It's really funny. It's called Bagels Anonymous, a love story. And people can look me up on Amazon and be able to get any of these. I want to say something about Bagels Anonymous. It's a comedy. It's a parody. It's something that I'm working with a friend who's an actor and a producer to try to make it into a musical. It'll be really a very funny and enjoyable musical if, in fact, we get through the whole process of that, which is quite a bit. And the work may actually be the very last thing I do in my life because at 78, and getting a musical produced is about a 10-year project. But you never know. Maybe it'll help me live longer. Anyway, I love your show. I hope people will come and take a look at these books. And what else can I say? I'm going to possibly also do something that is similar to what you're doing, which is to do a podcast and a video podcast like on YouTube, which would be called Rock and Your Hard Place. rock for rock and roll, and your hard place would be each individual's place in their life that's difficult for them. And as a psychologist, I would try to answer questions or talk about the topic that they're bringing up that's emotional, personal, or psychological. So all those things are in the works. And, you, my son, are a great model for me, your father. And I'm so wonderfully proud of you. So I hope you play this on number 51. And I'm certainly going to speak to you soon. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dad, thanks for calling. Number 52, you made it here. We did David last week. Did you like that? You didn't tell me if you liked that one or not. Your books. Yep. These are the books. I hope I'll put some links in the description below. So if anyone watching wants to check out my dad's books, go for it. They're great. I haven't read them, but people who have read them say that they like them. Now, in terms of the projects you want to do, Dad, the musical and the podcast video thing, these are really hard projects to put together, to produce. But I've been doing hard projects my entire life, my entire career, and you have supported those endeavors, and you have helped me and advised me in many ways, even though they were totally delusional, still are. So I think it's only fair if I do the same with you and support these endeavors that you wish to do. I mean, good luck. You gotta put all of your time and effort, mind into these things, and they're so hard. Good luck. I know we'll try next time you come up. It's getting warmer finally, and we're gonna try to do some things together. So maybe we'll make one of those videos together. That should be fun. I mean, I've gone on about the music licensing thing and how it triggers me, but we'll figure it out. That's it. Thank you for watching, as always, Dad. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. Let's do it. We got another caller here. Carey.
Hi, Noah. I have to ask you about that piece on the wall way behind you. It looks like a series of pictures of the same spot. I've had lots of different fascinations with photography over the years. I think early on it was sharpness. How can a picture be so sharp? Then I got kind of into emotion and sort of like, I guess, intimacy with photography. Then I kind of got into composition. And now it really is time. And time is the element that I like the most, I think about the most with photography. So I would love to see a pan of that wall, or, even you discussing it in depth. Cheers from Wichita.
Thanks for that call, Carey. Appreciate it. Yeah, Lumberland, which was back there on that wall, but I've taken it down. I finally did it. I've been meaning to do it for years, at least a year, if not two now. I've been saying I wanted to take it down, and I finally did it. I'm going to roll some video of that happening. But yeah, that was a project I call Lumberland. And basically, it's one of my diachronic photographic series. If you don't know what diachronic photography is, it's basically rephotography where you go to the same place over and over again. I started that project on September 23rd, 2015. So it's almost 10 years that I've been going to that spot, which is just over there on my property, and making that picture. And I started in 2015, it's just one photo. Then it was one photo the next year. And then I started doing it more and more, because I was just really drawn to that composition. So it's time and composition. So a few things here, but just to what you were saying in terms of things that you are interested in, you said sharpness, emotion, intimacy, composition, and time. I feel you on that, like finding things within photography that are interesting or compelling to you that make you want to explore it further. I think initially with my practice, and I've never stopped being like primarily interested in composition. I love a perfectly composed photograph. And how do you describe a perfectly composed photograph? Well, it's impossible to describe. I just know it when I see it, but I just like love composition. And that particular area, I think of that tree, which is a black walnut tree, sits in a sort of perfect composition. So that's what drew me to it over the years. And, when I found it and then I eventually go back and then discovered, wow, this really works just perfectly, especially with where that tree sits and how the sun rises. I mean, it's basically facing south, and so the sun comes over this way, and it just lights it like perfectly in the way, it just works. So it's amazing when a natural element just kind of gives you a photograph. One of the early things with me and photography, like you said, sharpness. I was never that into sharpness. I mean, I get it, like wanting to like get a lens or something that's like perfectly sharp. But I was initially into like saturation, like David LaChapelle, like someone who like amped up color. That was always something that was like really interesting to me early on. And then I phased out of it and almost became like more of a desaturated kind of person. But yeah, all of these things like get in your head and stick with you, and they become like part of everything that you end up making. Now, just back to Lumberland, that's that project that I point to, which is no longer there, but it's of that black walnut tree. It's one of my most successful projects. And just in terms of like where it's been shown and like where it's been used, and also monetarily, probably sold more prints of that work than anything else that I've done, both physical and digital prints. It's also on the Samsung art frames. This like just hanging right here, like this is the original photo, the cover of this journal. This is a show catalog where a different version is on it. And the reason I pull this out is because I was just recently approached by this Tapestry blanket manufacturer who wanted to send me a free version of their tapestries that I could put any photo that I wanted on it, and see if this would be something that my audience might be interested in buying or having me offer it as something. And I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence, but like, check this out. This is I'm going to hold it up and then I'll sit back down. Like, look at this. What do you think? I'll put in some B-roll too, so you can see it on the ground. This is 72 by 54 inches. Now, my cost to make that would be around $50. So they suggest selling it for $100. Anyone out there, would you buy that for $100? Is it corny? I actually like it, but do I want to sell it? Sorry, my rooster's over here yelling. Anyway, throwing it out there. Also, I'm starting a Patreon. Information's in the description below. Maybe it's a special tier. Okay, yes, it's true. I'm starting a Patreon, and I didn't really do a good enough job describing what it's all about in this video, so I'm jumping in here to talk about it. Right now, there's 3 tiers. There's going to be $4, $8, or $20. So, I don't know. It's affordable. I know we're all sick and tired of paying for shit, so I get it. If you don't want to get in, it's fine. But you really would be helping support this show, and I'd very much appreciate it. That said, I want to do something kind of special. If you become a member at the $20 tier, and you can only do it for 1 month if you want to, but I hope you stick around longer. But if you do the $20 a month tier, I will send you in the mail one of those Lumberland work prints that I had up on my wall. It's kind of an amazing deal. I mean, those prints, they've got holes or they're scuffed, but I did write on them. They're kind of interesting. And I mean, $20, it's amazing. You should check it out, but up to you. I'd appreciate the support if you want to. If not, I get it. Whatever, no big deal. Patreon.com/The Hotline Show. Link is in the description below. I hope to see you there and we'll chat. Maybe I'll put up some screenshots and some other random shit. Maybe you can get one of these blankets. Do you want one? It's kind of almost looks like you could go in the woods and be completely camouflaged. We'll think about it. Hope to see you there. Carey, thank you for that call. I appreciate it. Love your YouTube channel. Keep doing that. I'll be watching. Brian.
Hey, Noah, it's Brian in Minneapolis. Just finished all the last 3 episodes. And first of all, congratulations on making it to 50. That's a big accomplishment. I think you'll make it to 500. So let's see how that goes. When you were looking through the books and you saw your dad's books, it made me kind of like wonder if you'll do a photo art therapy book, and the title could be something like "Photography Sucks, but you don't have to let it make your life miserable." You know, something along those lines. It does seem like you're kind of following in your old man's footsteps as like a art photo therapist. Speaking of therapy, going through the archives is always a therapeutic thing. I think I love kind of like going and seeing where I was walking. I like it's affirming to me, and I'm like, hell yeah, like I'm glad I was out walking and doing all of that stuff than just about anything else, because it really is very fortunate to be able to do that, and I have a lot of gratitude for that, because I wish I could do it every single day. It would be awesome, but it's probably not feasible. So yeah, the archives to me are always like pretty uplifting. Even the photos aren't always great. So I love this idea of you getting on the road. Like you can turn it into like Art Bourdain, go and visit different people in all these towns, different artists. I think that would be kind of cool. Very ambitious, but you could pull it off. Speaking of travel, what do you think of Canada? Because I've been thinking about Canada quite a bit frequently. I want to take a trip to Calgary. Calgary looks really beautiful. Montreal is pretty cool. So what are your thoughts on Canada? Where have you been in Canada? Do you think like there's a possibility of us living in Canada at some point maybe? So curious your thoughts.
Brian, thank you for that call. A lot here, a lot to go over. Let's see. I don't even know where to start. Photography sucks and you don't have to let it make your life miserable. I don't think I would write a book with that title. I mean, photography does suck. I think it would be more like photography sucks and it makes your life miserable, why you should do it, or something like that. But it's interesting to hear you think about and work on your archive and not let it depress you. And I almost wonder if that's because photography isn't your profession and you are allowed to separate it from your professional life and how you make money. So when you go out, it is like on purpose. And like I literally had to do it to survive. And when I look back, I see a lot of choices and mistakes I made, and also, there's just relationships. It's complicated. I don't think you shoot a lot of people. I have a lot of people in my archive, and there's always something about seeing people, good and bad, that just conjures lots of emotion. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot there. The Bourdain of photography, that would be very cool. And it was one of the original sort of concepts I had for doing a show on YouTube, not necessarily the Hotline Show, is like going around and talking to interesting people and making stories about it. And I would like to do it. And it's just a matter of having the time and money and resources to do it. So subscribe to that Patreon down the link below, and maybe we can make it work. But yeah, I mean, that would be amazing on so many levels. I really want to hit the road and start making things out there again. So hopefully, when it gets warmer, we'll see. I do have some trips in mind that I'm planning, including one back to Newfoundland, Canada, which I've been to before. I did an assignment for the New York Times Magazine, their Voyages section. I don't know, it's almost like 10 years ago now, where I went up there searching for fog. I've been to Canada a lot. I've been to Montreal many times. My brother used to live there. Been to Vancouver a number of times. Somewhere really far north for GE where they test their jet engines in super cold conditions. I love Canada. I love the people. A lot of Canadians watch this show. We're brother or sister. I don't know who's who, but we're siblings, and I love that country. I did a lot of shoots for Air Canada's En Route magazine. So yeah, I mean, I've good vibes for Canada. I mean, will we? I don't honestly. I don't want to go live there. I'm going to stay. I'm going to fight here. I'm going to stay here. We're going to figure it out. But that's a whole different thing, and I don't think we're going to go into that right now. But yeah, I'm just like not going to become an American refugee into Canada. I refuse to do that. I'll die here. We're going to fight. I'm not running. Maybe Canada can help. I don't know. Who's going to help us? Nobody's coming. Brian, thank you so much for calling. Always love to hear from you. Call back. I guess in a couple weeks you'll catch up and watch all this shit. So, see you then. Next caller.
Hi, Noah. It's Seth Werkheiser.
Seth, this was a great call. I love it. I didn't like my answer, and I feel like it deserves a better answer, so I'm cutting it out of the show. Not to mention the fact that this was going way too long. So we're going to get to Seth's call next week. Go the last call right now. One more call left. Let's do it. Scott.
Hey Noah, it's Scott calling. I've got two questions for you this week, one photography related and one not. So, the photography related question is in line with a comment I left on the last Hotline show regarding how to know when to finish a project. I'd commented that there had been some trees I was taking photos of and they sort of succumbed to nature, and that the project naturally stopped at that point. But I kind of struggle with deciding when a project is finished. Well, I'm wondering, do you have thoughts and ideas about when a project is finished and what some indicators might be? I realize I might be asking the wrong person because you seem to be doing a lot of projects without end, but I know that's not the case for everything. Okay, second question, non-photography related. I saw an article in the Washington Post recently about a woman that spent years restoring her land to a meadow and got rid of lots of invasive species. And I really respect that work. So now that you've expanded the land that you own, I'm curious what your plans are for it. And are there some plants or invasive species that you definitely want to remove? Anyway, would love to hear what you may do with the land starting in the spring. Thanks, Noah. Love the show.
Scott, great to hear from you. Thanks for calling. How do you know when a project is finished? Well, it's hard. It depends, like everything. Now, in my experience, I too have had projects end because whatever the subject was died or fell over. I had a tree, called it the rock. There was this amazing little tree growing out of the rock, and then it just fell down. I feel like it was poisoned or something. But that ended that project, and then it's just naturally ended. Now, I certainly have long-term projects that I never plan to end, like they end in my death. Every day is one of those projects. I think Lumberland, as long as I'm able, willing, capable, and live here, I will be photographing that tree. Might, of course, fall down too. That's a possibility. That could end it. Now, with other projects I have, like bed mounts, like that was something I could have done forever. But what I ended up doing was I made it into a book, and that book basically sealed the deal. So I feel like a book or an exhibition is the thing that ends the project, and only you know when it is time to do that. Is it enough photos? Are you sick and tired of it? Like, that's fine. That's a good, but then wrap it up, package it, and put it in something that is its tombstone, essentially. I mean, in many ways, like a lot of photo books are just the tombstone of dead projects, never to be worked on again, but you can go and visit them and remember what it was like. So I recommend doing that. If you have stuff and you're not that passionate about doing it anymore, edit it together, wrap it up, put it in a book. Now, the land. We're going to do a lot on the land coming up, final, and then once it gets into spring, I can't wait to get out there and start doing stuff. Invasive stuff. There's eastern white pines. You can see them back here. Those are trees. I consider them invasive, and I've already been cutting down a lot of them, a lot of the little ones. Other than that, there's like barberry, but I might keep that. It depends. There's a lot of stuff. It depends on the area that I'm in and working on, but we'll see more on the channel soon. Hopefully in the spring. I'm going to do some ambient videos of me just working on the property, and also I think we might get a trailer, my dad and I, and he's going to go live over there. So he'll be just wandering around, and I'll have to take care of him or something. So that's just some of the plans. We'll see. Lots coming up, and it might be good. I can't wait to get out there and do it. I'm itching to work, get some physical activity. So that's it, Scott. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone if you made it this far. It is the Hotline Show. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear from you. The number's in the description below. Call. Say hello. And we'll see you next week. Maybe.